This is our second Oak Brook Business Networking meeting of 2021. And we're excited today to do a meet and greet. It's a different format than we usually do. Normally we have a speaker and we do Q&A. But we felt that it was important to get back to networking and just learning more about your businesses and what you guys are struggling through right now. Just try to help each other out, learn what each other does, and see if there's some connections that we can make together. My name is Michelle Sherrod. I am one of the founders of the Oak Brook Business Network and our other groups, and Rhonda Seelinger is with me today. She is our marketing director for all of our groups, so she helps us to market the events. And she also does all of our social media marketing and facilitates these meetings as well. Before we begin, I just want to tell you a little bit about our groups. We are comprised of 5 powerful networking groups. We have the Oak Brook, Naperville, Northwest, Windy City, and North Shore Business Networks. And we started all of those online on LinkedIn in 2008. And they grew to be the largest networking groups online within LinkedIn. Just about 2 years ago, we decided to take the groups live, meaning that we'd actually meet in person. We had monthly meetings where we had guest speakers and did Q&A. It included breakfast. It was at the Oak Brook McDonald Commercial District. We also had happy hour events, formal dinner events 4 times a year. And at every meeting, every event, we invited not only paid members, but also the general public as well. That way our members are not always mingling with the same people. And so that other people could come in and enjoy our events as well. With COVID, obviously, that ceased to happen as of March of last year. And for 2021, we've just decided to keep things safe for the first couple of months of the year. And then maybe once everybody's vaccinated, then we can get back to normal networking. But because of that, we've decided to discount our membership to $199 for the year. Still includes everything, but it includes many more advertising options for our members online because it's important more than ever right now to get your business known online. So from that aspect, we've just decided to lower the rate because we're not meeting in person, but to offer more advertising options. So if you are interested, you can go to oakbrookbiz.net. You can learn more about the group. You can email us any questions that you might have, and you can also apply online. We're very excited this morning to host a different kind of venue. For those of you familiar, again, with our monthly meetings, we normally have a guest speaker that speaks on a topic that we feel will help you grow your business, and then we follow it up with a Q&A. There's definitely value in that, but we miss the natural interaction that comes with live events. So we wanted to make today about that, getting back to knowing you and your business, and helping to provide information to us to make our networking groups better for you and more of a value. In order to achieve that, we ask that everyone today, if you can, go ahead and share your camera. And we're going to stay muted until it's your turn to speak, if that would be fine. We are going to start with a 60-second elevator pitch and just go around. And then we have some discussion predetermined questions that we'll be asking, and then you can unmute yourself and share. Rhonda and I are going to act as facilitators, and we're going to do our best to keep to the time. We definitely want to hear from each of you, so let's keep that in mind as we're speaking as well. We want to thank all of you again in advance for your willingness to engage with us this morning, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and kick it off. Again, my name is Michelle Sherrod, and I'm not only the founder of these networking groups, but I also own 2 local businesses in the area. The first is called Q Camp. It's a digital marketing firm where we create user-friendly websites. We do social media marketing, email marketing automation, and other marketing opportunities to help you grow your business. And then my other business is called Situated Research, and that's a usability firm where we bring in users to test products, software, websites, and video games. So my ideal customer would be either a software company or a small to mid-sized business looking to grow their digital footprint. Rhonda, would you like to go next?
No.
No?
I didn't prepare. It's not that I just don't, I'm not a business owner. I'm just, I am more just doing contract work in marketing. And so I'm so sorry I didn't like think to prepare
Okay.
because I wanted to hear from everybody else.
Okay.
So.
No worries, Rhonda. Francisco, would you like to go next?
Sure. Hi, my name is Francesca Vanderwall. I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones. My office is located in Shorewood. My areas of expertise are on women small business owners, because usually they are stretched so incredibly thin that having one person be able to advise them on all things money winds up making them more empowered and better able to tackle things holistically rather than just piecemeal. I also play really well with CPAs, tax preparers, attorneys, because we like to take the view that, if you're only getting advice from one lane, there might be some opportunities by having a more, again, holistic conversation to make sure that we are able to provide the most well-rounded financial planning assistance for our clients. This is my first time here. Really excited to be here. Appreciate you guys hosting, and I'm looking forward to getting to know everybody.
Awesome. Welcome. LaDawn, is that your name? LaDawn?
Yes.
Yes. Would you like to go next?
Good morning, Chicago. I'm assuming you're in the Chicago area just by what I've heard.
Yes, the
So,
Oakland area.
like I do three things: essential services. Now, what does some of that look like? One thing is you are a deregulated state, like where I am from Pennsylvania. I had a whopping 11 degrees here this morning. I don't have any snow, but I had 11 degrees, so it's cold. So if you'd like to see about saving some money, possibly on your energy bill, let's do a free review. We have a free app, instant cash back on stuff you buy every day. Walmart, Olive Garden, Target, just to name a few. A couple of other things I do, nonprofit funding, and I can show people how to create another stream of income. My name is LaDawn Van Kirk with Connect, and I'm just glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, LaDawn. Logic Pursuits.
Hi, everyone. I'm one of the founding partner here at Logic Pursuit. That's a company, my name is Kamlesh Korat. We are based out of Chicago, one of the suburb Naperville. However, I have a practice here in the US as well as back in the offshore in India. We are predominantly into, I would say, risk consulting. We are a public accounting Big Four consultant. Predominantly heavily work in the, I would say Fortune 500 client, but with the Logic Pursuit, we are primarily focusing on the small to medium scale, organization, helping primarily in their risk compliance audit. And I would say, like a second, third line of defense type of, work, services area. So that's our consulting. We do have a technology practice where we help a company, leveraging their digital, I would say digital platform-based services like, cloud, more CRMs, content management kind of world as well, to make them more, I would say life more seamless, easier to, operate within the business stakeholders environment as well. So that's, I would say, mix of risk consulting as well as like a technology background kind of a company we own it here, Logic Pursuit.
Well, welcome. Thank you. Brandon, would you like to go next?
Sure, thanks. Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon. I'm basically a senior consultant at a research and development firm. We focus on the research and development tax credit. And so it's basically a way to reduce income tax based on a company's qualified R&D activities. We employ scientists and engineers and deliver a technical report that substantiates a company's claim. So I essentially help businesses recoup their development costs and try to fold that into their business plan moving forward. There's been a lot of changes in the last few years with the credit, and so it's important that you qualify the right activities, and you're allowed to look back and get a refund on the past 3 years of taxes you've been paying. And so we work with all different industries, whether it's advanced dentistry, biotechnology, software, structural engineering, civil engineering, infertility clinics, just the whole world of R&D. And a lot of companies sometimes don't even know they're doing it. Whether it's like an insurance company, but has some kind of tech stack in-house that they've built. So my job is really just to educate various industries on how it works and hopefully help them do a successful claim and de-risk that. And so, yeah, happy to talk more about anything but it's great to be a part of this group. I'm in Boston, but I grew up in Naperville, and I'm trying to kind of network with my hometown and hometown industries. So it's good to see some faces from the area.
Awesome. Welcome. Michael, would you like to go next?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Mazierick, and I have a consulting business called Full Circle Consulting Group, Inc. One thing off the bat, I will tell you that I had the absolute pleasure of working with Michelle and her companies in terms of a project that I had with a client. Pretty much my consulting firm offers a full service, a full complement of services to small to mid-sized businesses, both independent businesses as well as franchise businesses. I've had a pretty strong background in franchising, including having taken a franchise concept from startup to a little around 250 stores in 6 years earlier in my career. Was able to touch every aspect of franchising and thus can help with my consulting business, either franchisees or franchisors, people who are in franchising. Again, not restricted to franchising. I help a lot of independent businesses as well. One of the services that I've been focusing now with COVID, in the light of COVID, has been a service that I provide in terms of helping small to mid-sized businesses with the strategic aspect of their marketing. And what I mean by strategic is, really focusing on the messaging of the marketing that folks are doing so that they can create a differentiation between what they do and what everybody else in their space does, versus what I would call the tactical side, which most small to mid-sized businesses focus on. And that is, where do I communicate, or how do I communicate this message? Unfortunately, they don't do enough work on the message itself, but focus too much in terms of just how you communicate it. So I'm pleased to be here and pleased to meet all of you, and look forward to participating in the rest of the session.
Great. Thank you, Michael. And then we have Nishant.
Sorry for joining late. First of all, I had some other calls going on. Thanks for having me here. My name is Nishant Shah. So I have a product development company and also consulting company. We are doing some of the innovative work in the space of doing some camera related app, which is going way beyond that regular people are doing it. And we also provide consultancy in the space of mobile and web development and analytics. We've been doing that for many years, and the product development, I would say, just last 2 years now. And the product we have that can help event-based recording and arranging, and also doing at a time, person can almost do record 3 videos at the same time. So we are doing some challenging and going in this direction. So this seems like pretty interesting platform. This is my first time joining any platform, because I was doing so much deep dive into my product side of it that we had it took us almost 18 months to achieve the technical, surpass the technical hurdles. And now we are going into the direction that maximize the use of the technology and how we can serve the people. So that's why I decided to join some group, and that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Welcome. I think it might be helpful if everyone in their chat box, maybe if you can find the chat at the bottom, put in your company name and maybe the URL to your company. That would be helpful. That way, if anyone heard anything that sounded interesting, they could, go to your website or even your email address as well if you want to share that. That would be helpful too. So we have some questions that are that we came up with, Rhonda and I, and I'm just going to ask one at a time, and then if you'd like to share, you can go ahead and share. we're just thinking during this time of COVID, and we don't want to like hone in on that, but we are all in this right now. Just what are some business challenges that you've had during this time that you've overcome, and how did you overcome it? I think it might be helpful for us to hear maybe a few scenarios of things that happened, and find out how you overcame it. It might be helpful for someone. So is there anyone that would like to share a struggle that you've had during this time and how you've overcome it? Within your business? Anyone?
I might speak for a lot of people here, but a lot of my role here is really to network and get to know people and develop relationships, and I think there's extra layers of struggle when it's completely virtual. It just doesn't quite do the same thing as sitting across the table or across eating food with someone, talking about business. And so I think the remote thing is hopefully not here to stay, but some hybrid of this will be a spin-off, whether it's going back to the office a little bit or something. But I think just kind of the necessity of not being around as many people has made it harder to kind of grow relationships or stay in touch with people. The follow-up and is just it's a lot. And as far as how I've overcome that, maybe it's things like we're doing right now. I would rather be at an event, kind of, nibbling on some food or having a drink and running around kind of just meeting people and trading business cards. But I think this is the next best thing. And it's important just to kind of put ourselves out there and cross different paths in hopes to, find some interesting connections so that we can, further our careers, our businesses, and all those different types of things.
Yeah, has anybody, besides Zoom, has anybody come up with any other platforms that you've been on, other networking groups or events or ideas that other groups have come up with besides Zoom like this that you guys have attended? Yeah.
So, I mean, there's just the pure platform difference, between Zoom, WebEx, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, all that stuff. But I'm going to kind of park that and just say, platform's a platform, and sometimes the technology works better. Sometimes it's a lot more awful. But I am on a platform right now. It's called Lunch Club. And the idea is that you get randomly paired with somebody for lunch. And I use the scare quotes because you get to customize it based on your schedule. Here in the Central Time Zone, they usually have opportunities at 11, 1, 4, and 7. And those happen Wednesday through Saturday. So you get to sign up for the time slot or time slots that work best for you. It's an invite-only community, but the idea is that you are randomly paired with somebody that is also interested in networking for a variety of different reasons. It might be business development. It might be just because they're lonely and they just want to have a conversation. It might be, mentorship. It might be, common interests. I know that I'm in the marketing community in there because, I spent over a decade in corporate marketing before I, moved over into my current role. And it's a nice way to truly network. It's not prospecting, it's not swapping business cards, but if you want to get some, I call it good gas, getting to talk to somebody and hearing a completely different industry, a completely different part of the country, to be able to maybe draw some inspiration or even just share commiseration of, oh my God, if I don't get to see another human face today, I'm going to go berserk. I've really enjoyed that, and it has been beneficial to my business when I have just had the fortunate happenstance to bump into somebody that had a financial planning need and also clicked with me as a person.
Yeah, awesome.
Lunch Club will put you on a wait list unless you get an invite from a member already. So if any of you want one, you need to see this lady to get an invite, or they will put you on a wait list.
Okay.
I echo that, Francesca. I use Lunch Club all the time. I've found new business, new friends, new partners. It's just a great way to put yourself out there. You kind of do have to be careful about putting too much slots on the calendar. Before you know it, you'll be doing lunch club more than your own job. So I've had to scale back a couple times, but it's awesome. I mean, half of the battle is just setting up a meeting, and the fact that it does that for you and throws it on your calendar is just one less thing to worry about.
So is it like on Zoom like this, or a different platform where you're just meeting like this and having lunch together and just talking?
I've had a variety of experiences with the platform. Lately, they seem to be creating their own internal, like on a web browser, which means A, I can't access it at work, and B, like I'm on my iPhone and I'm usually pulling up in specifically a Safari browser. But you do have the opportunity that if using their platform doesn't work, as long as you are communicating with A, lunch club, and B, your date, you can say, hey, let's switch to Zoom, or let's switch to Teams, or whatever your preferred platform is. And again, all that Lunch Club cares about is that you are honoring somebody else's time. If you're not using their meeting service, they don't care. They're just doing it as a convenience because not everybody has access to platforms that will let you chat kind of indefinitely.
Okay. All
And
right.
we'll follow up with you. They'll send you an email. Hey, how was the meeting with Billy or Mary? We didn't meet, we rescheduled. You let them know, was it relevant? Or if sometimes they don't show up or they cancel, they want to know that too.
Okay. Awesome. Are there any other things like Lunch Club that you guys know about that you've been doing during this time to network?
There's an app called Shaper. It's kind of like LinkedIn and Tinder. Baby had a baby or something. It's not dating at all. Francesca, don't worry about that. It's focus on the LinkedIn part of it. It's like a business matching app kind of thing. So you swipe on people looking at their professions, and if you match with someone, then you're allowed to have a conversation about your job or your roles or what you're looking for.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of Shaper. Rhonda, did you have something? I thought I saw your hand up.
Oh no, sorry. No, these are really interesting. I have never heard of them, so very cool.
No.
So with Shaper, how does the algorithm work? I know you mentioned, kind of the Tinder-esque of swipe left, swipe right, things like that.
Yep. The algorithm, I believe, so you create a profile and you have a little blurb about yourself, and you can do some hashtag interests. You can have your LinkedIn there as well. And there is some conversational AI behind it, where it gives you kind of good one-liner openers that can kind of spur a conversation, so you don't have to think too hard about what to say. And that's really how it works. I mean, it's hard to have like yet another app to deal with messages on. So I try to switch it to LinkedIn or email as quick as I can, so I don't have to keep remembering to do that. But you try to feel it out, see if there's a connection, and if the person's legit, they should have their LinkedIn profile up there, so you can go and take a closer look and see their work history and maybe connect with them there. And I find that the quicker I can get on LinkedIn, that's the only other really chatting that I'm doing outside of regular like text messaging and email and stuff. But yeah, it's good. There does seem to be an uptick in a lot of like crypto Bitcoin folks that will try to drag you down some weird rabbit hole. I usually just block them or waste their time by saying silly things.
They're everywhere.
They really are. Yeah.
So sick of them, and
I know, it's annoying
too when they claim to they try to kind of like get into my lane about like, oh, and well, I'll teach you how to be rich. It's like, oh no, please don't. Stop.
Yeah.
You're not licensed. Stop it.
Yeah, that's the one downfall. But there has been some other good things to come of it. But
yeah, my husband, Matt, he uses Shaper all the time. He swears by it. I tried to use it, and I was getting all the Bitcoin stuff, and I was like, I'm done. I'm just going to use LinkedIn and do networking things like this. But he swears by it. He has, a couple of phone calls a week with legitimate people. We've gotten a few projects during the pandemic from it, so it actually has worked out quite nicely. So it's kind of hit and miss. It's what you like. you know, the
I know
platform,
I know there's a paid version, and you might be able to like filter out
the Bitcoin people.
something, maybe, yeah. And it's funny, you see a lot of people, and their profiles literally say like, "Please, no Bitcoin."
Yeah. So is there
Um,
any other strategies that you guys have found during this time that have worked as well to network and get business for you guys? LaDawn, did you have? Oh, you're muted. Oh, there
There's
you go.
something called Happy Neighborhood Networking. I put it
Okay.
in the chat. They now have 57 events globally and nationally every week. They're free to attend, but you do need to register. But just because it's in Missouri, you might have people from across the pond jumping on.
Mhm.
But I have picked up clients that way.
Okay.
Coast to coast, all time zones, all locations.
Awesome. Okay. And you put that in the chat? Yeah, you did. Awesome. Does anybody else have anything? Like, how have you guys been getting business during this time? Is it just luck, or people are just calling you, or how are you guys reaching out and doing that? Maybe go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so a couple things we are doing it, and we are pretty much into like a B2B kind of, engagement settings. So and these are all great ideas and great way to learn, on an individual basis. But what you know so we are in consulting. The very first thing that happened is the budget from consultant get hit pretty hard, right, in this time. So it was not a good time, at least, do any marketing strategy and sales kind of thing. But few things has been really helping, for us specifically. All these events are now gone digital. So, and for us, if I'm not presenting, if I'm not actually securing a booth, but at least participating, at least giving us a lot of access to the like-minded people, or the people who would be joining those webinars, or at least those sessions, right? So that's one way we are at least trying to get some idea about the audience who is coming, and then doing like a soft outreach through LinkedIn, and more introducing who we are, what we're doing it. So that is helping at least build some connection, at least get the name out there. So that's one thing. And we are not attending every events like that, but mostly like a industry, I would say, association based like an events, right? So we are heavily focusing like manufacturing, life science, those kind of industry, and they are very good, like Midwest targeted manufacturing association, which basically they entertain Fortune 50 clients all the way to like a mid-sized company as well. So that's a good way for us to at least helping to get the name out, making some connection. And interestingly, late last year it's actually helped us convert into some sales side of the world as well. So it's a slow process, but on the B2B side, that we are seeing something much more, I would say, effective strategies helping, because we can't be there on in person. Ideally you would do it, but this is a now cheaper way. Normally it costs like $5,000 to have a booth there. But with this COVID, those digital is really helping, like $1,000, $1,200. At least you can still be there and get some, real context out of those events.
Awesome.
So that's something we're doing it here at Logic Pursuit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is anybody here also just doing old school leads groups? Like, I'm in BNI, I'm in an all women's leads group. I run a non-category exclusive women's networking group once a month. The moms groups on Facebook, where, the people that are kind of like on your team tag you and stuff. Is anybody, and granted, I know I'm coming from a B2C perspective on that one, but anybody else, Michelle?
I'm on a couple of, well, I'm in Naperville. So there's a Naperville moms group. I think there's a moms group, but they're business groups. So they're moms that are running businesses.
A branch?
Yes, the branch with Kathy. Yeah. And it's huge. I mean, we get to share, if there's events or whatever, I always post those on there. But a lot of networking goes on. Like somebody will say, oh, I need a new website for my company, or my husband's looking for this or that. And people tag me and my company and put the link to my company. And I get a lot of projects through that Facebook group for websites. So that's helpful as well for our business. And digital marketing and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, definitely LinkedIn for sure. We have that's the whole reason why we started these networking groups. My husband and I, it was actually his idea back in 2008. He's like, LinkedIn was just starting, and he was like, oh, let's start these different area networking groups so we can, say, hey, let's go get a coffee and meet at Starbucks. So that's how the group started. And so we're just to get business for our companies. And then they grew, and we were like, oh, we could take this live and have people meet in person and have speakers and make it legit like networking groups. So that's how we started. But yeah, definitely online. My husband and I joke all the time, we work from home. We have remote offices where we can meet with our clients if need be, but everybody pretty much is a contractor and they work from home. So we're used to working from home and networking this way too. So it's not new to us, but it's interesting to see everybody who comes onto these meetings like this and hear their perspective. And just hear that like, oh, how, I can't handle working at home, or how do you do this, or how do you network, and not being able to get out and this and that. And we have different strategies and things, but this is a great way to do it. And definitely LinkedIn and other online groups. BNI is great too, online. I've been doing that as well. I also am one of the members of a leads group here in Naperville, a women's leads group. So that helps too. So there are lots of different ways to keep networking. I was just going to say, how many people, just show of hands here, are the actual business owners of their business? Okay. All right. I was just curious. I just wanted to know. So obviously networking is important to all of us. Do you have any advice? Like, you guys have been attending these groups online, and like today you're attending. Is there anything as a networking group that we could be doing better, the people who are hosting these events? And you can be brutally honest. You're not going to hurt our feelings, but just anything just from your experience that you've noticed or that people could do better that are hosting these events that you'd like to share.
Stick to the time frame that it's made.
Okay.
So many groups say we start at this time, and 15 minutes in there, well, we're waiting on people that haven't shown up. Don't penalize the people that are there
On time. Yep.
because others are not.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we try to start right at 9:30. Sometimes I wait an extra minute. Today, if you were on right at 9:30, which some people were, we had some Zoom bombers that came in, and I don't know what happened. Hopefully that never happens again. Otherwise, we start promptly, right, Rhonda?
To add to the question, are there ideas of, we're just looking for ways that we can really add value. It's one thing when you're face to face, but it's harder, I feel like, when you're stuck in sort of the remote world. And we really do want people to value the time that they spend, or just, so we've just been sort of trying to brainstorm about ways to really add value to the experience.
No advice? It's hard when you're hosting these events. It really is.
I guess I would say, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Maybe like, I don't know if people, take good notes on other people's ideas, but if there was some way to tap into all the good that came out of certain discussions and subgroups, and maybe that was distributed amongst the attendees, some kind of like summary of, like maybe we just talked about lunch club, but there might be 40 other people that are on other subgroups where they didn't hear that. And so maybe something like that.
No, that's a great idea. Like a summary of the event. Because like I said, we had to change the link because of the bombers, but it was over 100 people on Eventbrite that registered for this today. And so obviously they don't have the link anymore because I didn't go on Eventbrite and I didn't have time to do that. I was trying to get you guys back. So yeah, just sending them a summary of the event, and maybe letting them know about the bombers. I think a way, actually, I was thinking about this as that happened, frantically trying to get you guys a new link. Maybe not sharing the Zoom link everywhere. I mean, we put it on Facebook, we put it on Eventbrite, we put it everywhere. Go ahead, Francesca.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut off your chain of thought, because I think you're right that you need to protect the link and only send the link out to those who have registered. But one of the things that I do as a volunteer, I'm the executive chair of communications for my alumni association here in Chicago, and we host a lot of networking events, both pre-COVID and now during COVID. And one of the things that we observed is that there is a pattern of behavior sometimes, and I think it's especially prolific amongst entrepreneurs, where you go into things with the best of intentions and you say, yes, I'm going to register for this thing, especially because I want it to get on my calendar, but then you don't make it a priority. And I'm certainly not in favor of having anybody stretch their budgets any farther than they're already being stretched. But sometimes having just that little teeny tiny bit of skin in the game, whether it's through a sense of accountability where somebody referred you to come and is you're coming as their guest, or if you have done something nominal like $5, $10 to join in, it decreases your registration count, but it increases your rate of attendance. And I think that these days it's very easy to, again, go in with the best of intentions, or maybe not, and then just kind of no show, and it winds up being a disservice to the people that did come. I mean, this has been a great conversation, and I think this is a good group size to be able to have this type of dialogue. Right. But I think from an expectations perspective of a networking mixer, you'd want to have at least 20 people on to really have it be, true networking. Right. This is something different, and I think this is still really good. It's just right. Not that.
We're expecting. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Nishant, not to put you on the spot, you've been kind of quiet, but is this the first event you said that you've attended?
Yes, this is truly my first event. As I said, I was bogged down into just development side, and I've been talking to a few of my friends, how I can reach out and do certain things, and how can I even get some feedback on my product, what I have developed. And quite frankly, that's why I'm just taking in as much as I can to understand, and I think I'm getting great feedback, and I think that this is a great way to listen in, and also, like, when the time comes, I'll probably will be able to share some things what I have, so I can get some feedback. Quite frankly, that's what I'm really looking for eventually, just to make pivot from what I have and make it better for everybody.
Okay. Well, after today's session, we are sending out a survey. Rhonda, you don't know this, but we are. And so it'll have a lot of questions on there. If you guys would fill it out, that would be great. And because you attended, that would be really helpful for us for future events, because we want to make sure that you guys get the value out of your time, as Rhonda said.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Was on a seminar on Friday, and one thing the host did to engage all the members, the first, you do this however you want, but the first person that put their hand up, they took their business, and for 3 minutes, the other people just put into chat, because this was on copywriting, any ideas they had on how they could market it for ads online, and then they just took that, and then whatever they could use, great, but it was a great way to engage. So you could do that with different members, give them 2 minutes, whatever you think, put it into chat. The person takes away what they can use, and what they can't, they can't.
That's a good
but
idea.
It's a great way to help people with marketing or taglines or.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a really good idea. And it'll engage everyone too. Yeah, that's our biggest issue. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. We have 8 minutes left. I'd like to kind of go around and just everyone, if you could just share who your ideal client would be. We've heard what your business is about, but who is your ideal client? I shared who my ideal client would be. Again, it would be a software company or a small to mid-sized company that's trying to grow their digital footprint online. So if you know of anyone, obviously, that would be great if you could forward to me. But if we could go around the room and just who is your ideal client, that would help us out a lot. Francesca, would you like to go first?
Sure. So for me, I can work with decision makers at small businesses that are looking for help with their benefits plans, as well as with individuals and families. I think the biggest thing for me is looking for people that actually want a deeper relationship and want to be educated in the basic principles of investing. Nobody wants my job. If they wanted my job, they would come try to be me, which is totally fine. But I don't like, and I don't think a lot of people are really comfortable with the knowledge disparity that usually exists between the general public and financial advisors. And so I try to be able to give people enough education and enough information that they can make actual database decisions and understand what's going on, instead of me just kind of sitting up on my ivory tower saying, yes, and here are my recommendations for you, and go forth, and I'm just going to take all your money and put it in this black box over here and it'll grow. Don't worry about it. That's not me. And I think that there are people out there that want to meet people like me to be able to have those types of relationships with.
Okay. LaDawn, would you like to go next?
People who may be able to save money on utility bills they already have and save on things they buy every day.
Okay. Brandon?
Sure. It's hard because I work in so many different verticals. I guess right now, partnerships are good. Francesca said CPAs are good. We work with so many CPAs. We really act as the technical extension of the work that they do. So I'll team up with them and look through their client list, because they're going to know whether their clients are claiming R&D or not. And a lot of times they miss things because they're really coming from a purely financial background and not really a scientific one or engineering wise. So CPAs are good partners. That's an easy one for a partner. And I guess we're blowing the lid off of the dental and fertility space right now. There's a lot of people in those private practices and clinics that are doing amazing work. And they have their heads down and they're doing amazing work, but sometimes to their disadvantage, they're not realizing that they're missing out on a business opportunity to keep more of the money inside their business. And so fertility clinics seem to be overlooking the credit a lot, and any orthopedic surgery or periodontist, prosthodontist, any good sized dental practice is likely overlooking it. And then, we have an in-house dental team to help them. And so I would just say maybe those couple areas.
Okay. Nishan, would you like to go next?
Sure. So I think I didn't explain too much in the detail of the product that I have, which is called ClippyCam. And this, what it does is, like when we are taking a video, normally a lot of people are gigs and they go back and they crop the video to send out a small piece of that one. The way we turn this whole thing around is, instead of you going back and look at the video and figure out in 45 minutes where do you want to cut the video, which one, which portion, when you're taking a video itself, at the same time, you can take a clip. So say, for example, you are at an event or you are a teacher and you are making a 45 minutes long video. A lot of kids, they get bored looking at 45 minutes long video. So now they can take a full video, and along with the same time, they can take a small video. So one clip, another clip, another clip, another clip, and just say, okay, this is the full class of Math 101, and this is topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4, and they can send all at the same time. So my main target right now is a school, and that's the area that I'm going after. But this can be used and can be utilized in any direction, like a training or probably in an event, in like an event base also. But right now at this moment, I'm deciding to go after schooling to see how I can help. And this one also organize a lot of pictures and videos and all in a folder structure. So eventually mom and, football and soccer mom, I think they can utilize this one very effectively eventually.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Kamlesh, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. So from vertical standpoint, I mean, our heavily focus around the manufacturing, life science, and the pharmaceutical-based industries. Persona-wise, given our solution and what we offer from consultancy, we look at primarily risk professionals, audit professionals who have a mandate to manage the corporate risk from compliance, from financial operational risk perspective. So those are the individuals that we normally target, and at least we speak to it. Um, Historically, most of the work we get it through our public accounting experience, where they were consultant, now at the industry at the hot seat, or like decision making seat. So that's certainly helping, but right now it's pretty much about our internal network. That's how we are growing. But those are the industry and the persona we target from solutioning and offering perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Michael, would you like to go next?
Yes, and I'm going to preface it by saying I got a hard stop at 10:30 because somebody's calling me, so I'm going to say goodbye and thank you to everyone also. But my client, my ideal client is virtually any small to mid-sized business person. It doesn't matter the industry, whether it's service, whether it's product. It's pretty much anyone. And if you go to my website, you'll see the claim that I make is that I can find any small to mid-sized business $10,000 in revenue in $10,000 in additional revenue in 45 minutes. And I have a proprietary software that assists me in making that come to life for people. As far as finding clients, I've done a lot of mining on LinkedIn in terms of my contacts and people from my past career that I've reconnected with that have resulted in referrals. But the other thing is I create what I call joint venture relationships with companies like Michelle's, for instance. If Michelle were to refer a client to me and that client winds up engaging me for any one of my consulting services for the life of that client, I would be more than thrilled to give Michelle 10% of the fees that I collect in exchange for that referral. And if you do the math, not that I charge a low fee necessarily, but if you do the math, and you look at what your acquisition cost is per client, in terms of other means of achieving or attaining those clients, 10% is really a bargain. So, but again, any small to mid-sized business, it doesn't matter to the industry. These are people that I found are consistent with one thing, that they work and do a very good job working in their business, but they really have an opportunity area in terms of working on their business, which is what I can help them do. So thank you again, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
I know you got to go. So.
Yep. Bye-bye, everyone.
So just with everybody who's left, I just want you to know that in that survey, if there's going to be a spot for you to tell us a little bit about your business and your ideal client, we're going to be doing highlights on our blog, on our website, of anyone who fills that section out. And we'll also be putting it on our social media feeds as well. So that should help you folks out as well. We thought that that would be a good added bonus for today's session and attendees. Again, I want to thank everyone who attended. Sorry, ladies, for the glitch, and gentlemen that happened earlier. Hopefully we can remedy that for next time. And like I said, you'll get a survey sometime today. If you could just fill that out for us, that would be greatly appreciated. And I just want to thank you all for your time. Thank you so much for attending this morning.
Nice to meet you, everyone.
All right, take care.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you all.
Okay, same here. Thanks.